There are so many types of watermelons on the market. I'm sure a lot of you struggle when it comes to picking a good one. Some of you have even spent $10 or more on a watermelon that turned out bland. What a waste! Today I'm going to share some tips on how to pick the perfect watermelon. Once you know these tricks, you'll always be able to pick one that's fresh and sweet. Let's take a look at how to do it. By the way, where are you watching from? Drop a comment below. It's amazing that we get to connect with each other from all around the world. First, check the yellow spot. This is the part of the watermelon that sat on the ground while it grew. It's usually a different color than the rest of the rind. Since it doesn't get sunlight, the spot forms naturally. If it's a deep yellow, that means the watermelon has been ripening on the ground for a long time. It's fully matured, so the flesh will be sweet, juicy, and crisp. But if the spot is white, that means it was picked too early and isn't ripe yet. Those watermelons usually taste bland or have almost no flavor at all. Better to avoid them. Second, look at the stem. The stem is where the watermelon gets all its nutrients. Things like sunlight, fertilizer, and water all affect the way it grows. And you can actually see those signs on the stem. The easiest way to check if a watermelon is fresh is by looking right there. Once a watermelon is picked, the stem will slowly dry out and turn yellow or brown. Only fresh watermelons can guarantee crisp, juicy, and sweet flesh. That's why you should avoid watermelons that have been off the vine for too long. The inside can get mushy, and the flavor will be disappointing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button. I truly appreciate your support. I've also added subtitles in multiple languages so that more people around the world can enjoy the video. Third, look at the stripes. A ripe watermelon usually has dark, clearly defined stripes across the rind, almost like waves. The clearer the stripes, the riper and the sweeter the watermelon will be. But if the stripes are faint and blurry, that's often a sign the fruit isn't fully ripe. Sometimes those even crack easily and they won't taste good. Fourth, check the belly button. When you flip a watermelon over, you'll see a little spot that looks like a navel. Some are big, some are small. Which one should you choose? Always go for the smaller belly button. Here's why. After the flower falls off, that spot starts forming. As the watermelon ripens and the flesh expands, the belly button shrinks. So, the smaller the navel, the riper and thinner skinned the watermelon is. If it's big, that means the fruit was picked too early, before it fully developed, and that usually means it won't taste great. Next, look at the color. A naturally ripe watermelon will have a deep dark green rind. If it's light green or looks too shiny, chances are it's not ripe yet and it probably has a thick rind and bland flavor. Finally, pay attention to the sound when you tap the watermelon. It decides about 40% of its sweetness. A deep, solid thump means ripe and juicy. A dull sound means unripe. And a hollow sound means dry or spongy. Just listen carefully and you'll pick a sweet, juicy melon. Now let's test one using these tips. Here's a watermelon with a curled stem. It's still very fresh. The rind is dark green with bold stripes, the belly button is small, and the ground spot is a nice golden yellow. So tell me, do you have any tips for picking watermelons? Drop a comment below and let me know. Let's cut it open. This watermelon is about 7 pounds, so it feels quite heavy for me to hold. Cut the watermelon in half horizontally. Wow, the flesh is crisp, deep red, juicy, and sweet. Perfect. A deep red flesh usually means the watermelon is fully ripe. That's when it has the highest sugar content and the most lycopene, which makes it both sweeter and richer in color. So, do you remember the steps to choosing a good watermelon? Now you know how to pick one that's fresh and delicious. Next, I'll show you some unique and beautiful ways to cut watermelon that will wow everyone. Not just for the looks, but also for the convenience. Cut the watermelon into thick slices like I do, then prepare a deep bowl. Place the watermelon slice into the bowl, then cut it with crisscross lines. Do you remember the easy way I showed you to cut dragon fruit? This method is quite similar. Super clean with no juice splashing around, and the pieces come out perfectly bite-sized. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that button. I truly appreciate your support. I really enjoy eating watermelon because it's packed with vitamins. Watermelon is over 90% water, which helps quench thirst and prevent dehydration. It contains lycopene and citrulline to powerful antioxidants that help lower blood pressure and improve circulation. In addition, lycopene also helps reduce the risk of macular degeneration. Citrulline can ease muscle soreness after workouts. Vitamins A and C support collagen production, keeping the skin bright and healthy. And since it's low in calories but high in water and fiber, it keeps you full without worrying about weight gain. The second way I usually cut watermelon for guests is very simple, yet incredibly beautiful. First, I peel off the green outer skin, leaving only the bright red flesh. Then I cut the watermelon into bite-sized cubes that look neat and are easy to eat. Next, I place a large bowl upside down over the cut pieces and flip it over. And just like that, you have a vibrant, eye-catching watermelon bowl that looks tidy and delicious. This method is not only convenient and easy to serve, but it also impresses your guests every time. If you have a round stainless steel scoop in your kitchen, just make sure the scoop is sharp enough so the balls come out smooth and even, looking more attractive without any rough edges that could spoil the presentation. Watermelon is rich in fiber, which is great for children who don't like veggies. It's also packed with vitamin C, helping boost immunity during seasonal changes. Not only kids' watermelon is great for older adults too, since it's mostly water and can help with hydration. Do you still remember how to choose a sweet, crisp watermelon? How do you usually pick yours? Leave a comment below so others can learn too. Thank you so much for your support. That's the end of today's video. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, share it with your family and friends, and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you being here. Bye, and see you in the next video.